What's up, my Zero Shadow King followers? And I'm bringing you a new deck profile with volcanics. Sorry that I haven't been uploading a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh deck profiles. It's hard to get some Yu-Gi-Oh decks and to get the cards that I need, since the cards are some are expensive, some are limited stock, some are really hard to find from, for example, Amazon, eBay, TCG Player, or your local Walmart or Target. But I have found a lot of cards, decks that I will create more in the future. They all should be coming in soon in the mail. And I can't wait to do them soon. So, for now, let's get ready with the volcanics. But this volcanics did not use an extra deck. Two reasons why. One, I couldn't figure out what kind of good extra deck creatures would go great for this deck. Plus, it has to be a pyro extra deck. So if you have any suggestions for good pyro cards or that are fire, let me know in the comments. Before we start the video, hit the like, the subscribe button, and comment on what's your favorite volcanic monster. And if you want to, comment if you think volcanic should have a fusion, Xyz, or link monster in their deck. Because some should have a link or Xyz or fusion in their deck because they look like they could be good. Alright guys, let's start off first with the monsters. For the 3 copies I'll be playing will be Volcanic Shell. Once per turn, you can pay 500 light points. Add 1 Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand. If this card must be in your graveyard to activate, and to resolve this effect. So guys, Volcanic Shell needs to be into your graveyard. That's why you also play some really good spell cards like Triblazer or Blaze Accelerator. Plus, you do get to play as well one of the Fire Ejection to get him to the graveyard. I do also play 3 copies of Volcanic Trooper. When this card is no more special summon, you can add 1 volcanic card from your deck to your hand. Except Volcanic Trooper, you can discard 1 card, special summon 1 bomb token, pyro, level 1 with 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense. If your opponent controls if your opponent's failed each time it's destroyed, its counter takes 500 points of damage. You can only use the effect of Volcanic Trooper once per turn. I mostly played 3 copies. Just to let you know, I do play a lot of 3s on this deck just so we can send them to the graveyard and do burn damage to your opponent even faster. For your 3 copies, I was thinking about 2, but I felt like 3 for now will do for now, since I'm not running no extra deck. Volcanic Emperor. So for Volcanic Emperor, if this cannot be normal or set, must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 pyro monsters or Blaze Accelerator card from your face up field or graveyard. You can only special summon Volcanic Emperor once per turn. When summoned this way, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each banished pyro monster. Then you can set 1 volcanic trap directly from your deck. Each time your opponent special summons a monster, effect 500 damage to your opponent. So that's not bad because again, this is a burn deck, and you are trying to burn your opponent's life points down before you also go into attack mode. Alright, the next 3 copies I also play are Volcanic Brimfire. Let's zoom in. Let's see here. How much does the effects say? Let's see. So if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of the following effects of Volcanic Ramfire. Banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, send one volcanic monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Volcanic Ramfire. So with you sending him to the graveyard, helps you get into sending Volcanic Emperor in no time. Plus, his hour effect does say, banish one Blaze Accelerator card from your face-up field or graveyard, and if you do, place one Blaze Accelerator continuous spell trap from your deck or from your hand or deck face up on your field. He's a good searcher. He's like a Stratos or Elemental Hero Soldier who searches. Then I do play as well 3 copies of Volcanic Hammer just to send him to the graveyard. Like I said, you guys, it's hard to get into some good cards. As you can see, it's a speed duel card. It's hard to get the original copy, but at least with speed duel, you could use these monsters in your main deck. Once returning during your main phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of volcanic monsters in your graveyard. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Not bad, but because he's a level 5, I think you need to tribute one monster just to bring him out. It's hard to remember the rule about that higher monsters, because most people now these days just go from extra deck now. I also played 3 copies of Volcanic Scattershot. If this card is sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect of a Blaze Accelerator, you can send 2 Volcanic Scattershots from your hand and deck to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Technically, this is a good because you're selling. If you send one, your opponent takes 500. Then send the other 2, they take 1,000. So mostly they'll be taking more than 15,000 damage, and that's pretty cool. The whole point of this deck is supposed to send your pyro monsters to the graveyard to inflict damage to your opponent. Next, you send Volcanic Rocket. When this card is summoned, you can add 1 Blaze Accelerator from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It helps you recycle your spell card and get from your deck even faster. So these are all the three Volcanics monsters I'll be playing in deck. I will later on try and put an extra deck in there, but again, this deck looks like it's more better just to be doing burn damage. Well, no extra deck helping it, because if you have an extra deck, you're mostly slowing down what's the main goal of this deck. Now then, I played 3 copies of Blaze Volcanic Blaze Accelerator. 3 copies. With the 3 copies I have, activate this card by sending 1 Blaze Accelerator from your hand, deck, or face up in the field to the graveyard. You can only control 1 Volcanic Blaze Accelerator once per turn during your main phase. You can special summon 1 Volcanic monster from your hand. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Send 1 level 1 Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that monster. Again, we will send some of these cards to the graveyard to help our other volcanic monsters effects activate. We do have fire. I run 2 copies of fire ejection. Just the 2. Send 1 pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you sent 1 volcanic monster to the graveyard, you can apply one of these effects. Effect damage to your opponent equal to its level times 100. Special summon 1 bomb token, pyro fire level 1, 1000 and 1000 defense to your opponent's field. Each time it destroyed its controller takes 500 damage. Not bad. Again, this whole deck is supposed to do a lot of burn damage to your opponent and wipe out their main source of monsters. I do run 2 copies of Wildfire. Pay 500 life points. Destroy all Blaze Accelerator cards you control, and if you do, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. Then special summon 1 Fire Pyro level 3, 1000 and 1000 defense in attack position. Your monsters cannot attack the turn you activate this card. Again, just 2 is pretty good. Again, and also for the 3-ups, I do 3 Blaze Accelerator, the original one. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, send 1 pyro monster with 15 or 1000 or less attack from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do destroy that target, your monsters cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. So what I would consider, use this effect during your second phase after you do your attack phase, because after that your opponent will struggle a little more. I also do run 3 copies of Blaze Accelerator. Activate this card by sending 1 face-up Blaze Accelerator you control to the graveyard during your main phase. Target 1 monster your opponent controls and send 1 pyro monster from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that target. And if you do that, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Your monsters cannot attack the turn this card is activated. Again, second phase is pretty good to activate this card, but the more you're sending of your Blaze Accelerators, the more you have to summon him from the graveyard. Your main boss monster or your OTK guy. I do run 2 now then for traps cards. Now then, before that, I do run a little bit of traps here. Not a lot. You know, the spells is more the main thing for this deck as well. For the trap cards, I run 2 copies of Volcanic Inferno. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can banish 1 pyro monster from your graveyard, effect 500 damage to your opponent. Then if you banish a volcanic monster to activate this effect, you can negate that effect during your opponent's end phase. You can target up to 2 of your volcanic monsters that are banished or in your graveyard. Place them on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can only use the effect of Volcanic Inferno once per turn. I think 2 copies is good enough. Plus, you're also helping yourself recycle 2 monsters every turn back into your deck. So you're reloading your bullets. Technically, I think this is like the first thing before rocket monsters. Like, you know how rocket monsters are bullets? Like bullet dragons? And you just keep throwing ammo? These can actually recycle back into your graveyard, from your graveyard to your deck. Then you just have infinite ammo. Plus, with this trap card, you're just having a good negate for your opponent. I did run 3 copies of Volcanic I feel like it could have called volcanic explosion, but Emerson or whatever the name decided to name this, it's okay. Activate one of these effects, but you can only activate one of these effects once per turn. Take one volcanic mushroom from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it and ignore its summoning conditions, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Target one pyro monster on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. And if you target a monster you control, the damage is halved. So mostly, you guys, if you use, like, for example here, I will say your volcanic emperor, your opponent is going to take about 50 damage per its attack. So that's a good burn damage as well. Then for the final ones, 3 copies of Blaze Accelerator Reload. So with Blaze Accelerator, this character becomes Blaze Accelerator while it's in the field spell trap card zone. During your main phase, you can send one volcanic card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw one card. You can only use the effect of Blaze Accelerator Reload once per turn. During the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, send one volcanic card from your deck to the graveyard. This is pretty good card because you get to send mostly your good monsters here, like volcanic scatter shots to the graveyard, or your volcanic shell to the graveyard, and it's still inflict damage to your opponent. So even once you send to the graveyard, it's going to inflict damage to your opponent. This deck is more pure to itself, but in the future I will add Ash Blossom to see how things will work out. But I will say this is mostly the end of the video, guys. Sorry there's no extra deck. It's just, this is more like a pure Pyro version of itself, like from the anime. And also, if Konami ever does bring out like an extra deck support, like a Fusion, Xyz, or Link, this deck could be really powerful. I feel like it could be more powerful if it had its own field spell as well. But yeah, this is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what you think about it, and tell me if you think there should be more improvements to this volcanic deck here. But for now, guys, I'm gonna say peace out, and don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I hope to see you guys back here for another deck profile. Don't worry, guys, I'm trying to hurry up as fast as I can so I can always do deck profiles every day. But what can you do if cards sometimes are expensive to get? Now these days, it's really expensive to buy stuff. But I will try and support this channel with my own money to bring you guys more deck profiles into the future. And if you guys want to see different deck profiles, hit down a comment and I'll try my best to create them for you guys. Alright, guys, see you all later. Peace out.